card.
When I hover over the Damn Good Games followed channels, it still says something about Misthaven.
Weird. Oh,
Yeah, that's because the title down there still says that. That's what it is.
gotcha. 1 second.
Don't want to confuse anybody that might actually try and view this as to what game is being played.
Yep, I got you, boo.
I mean, there was like 31 original viewers last time over the course of the thing, which blows my mind. I'm like, wait, what? I mean, there's probably a lot of bots, but
I think we're gonna do great. Ah, why? There.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna have to be careful. Just a random floating Justin.
Yep. Justin is in the void.
So it doesn't show you your video chat in the bottom.
Oh, you have to go to your settings.
Yeah, it won't show you on Roll20 unless you set it that way.
Yeah, where it says video display and the player video avatar size.
Okay.
And change that to, instead of names only, just give it a size. And then you'll see the videos down at the bottom.
I'm dumb, and I forgot to change that. I'm dumb, and I forgot to change that. I'm dumb.
You're not.
There you go.
I fixed
it. There we go. I feel pretty good about my fire magic now, that since it's called the Icetomb, though.
All right. So, should we get rolling since, we're actually rolling and stuff?
Yes.
Oh yeah, 3D dice.
Yeah, it's a good idea to enable 3D dice. I think I have it set to 3D dice. Yeah, and you can also click it to have it always roll. On the bright side, you're only ever going to have to worry about your 1 die. So, do you folks all remember how this is supposed to go? Or do you need a refresher? I think we should probably... Yeah, I think we should probably jump on a refresher real quick. So, we are playing Mazes, which is an indie RPG that came out with 9th Level Games, designed by Chris O'Neill. Cool dude. I really like the system. It's really narrative focused, but it has that old school revival kind of dungeon crawl-esque feel to it. One of the things that players begin with is you start as close as possible to the core of the adventure. So when we begin, we're going to actually begin at the entrance of the dungeon, and anything that they needed to bring up story-wise will be done in a flashback mechanic. They'll be deciding how much treasure they begin with versus their party size, which also directly relates to how much darkness they begin with. And darkness is kind of like a danger level / resource that me, as the maze controller, can use to make things a lot more fun for the players. We'll go with fun. Fun is a good word for it.
Danger.
Yeah. So, like this overlay shows, it's got a pretty good self-explanatory way of handling the class system. One of the things that I do really enjoy is that in Mazes, each player or each character archetype has, their role has one specific die type, a D4, D6, D8, D10, and those all have their own specialization based on what they roll, as you see in this actions panel. Anyways, is anything anybody else need to remember or be reminded of? I also have, I think, if I was smart, I'd still have it open, which I guess I don't. Go me. I have a couple of...
Oh, cool.
Where are you? How to use this module, page 1. So, I'm going to go ahead and show this to the players.
Cool.
Maybe, if it'll...
Yeah.
If you click the buttons on your character sheet, it rolls the dice for you that way, too.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Didn't realize that last time.
There used to be a way. Oh, I think I have to do it over here. Show 2 players. Show 2 players.
Zoom in.
But yeah, the character creation of this game is actually pretty quick. You've all already created your characters, so you kind of know what's to go there. However, we do need to get into your starting treasure slash starting darkness and all of that jazz. So, the first question I have to you, which all of these questions are pointed and leaning, and it kind of helps set whether or not the darkness is going to be prevalent or how great the initial starting darkness is going to be.
Your magic missile at the darkness.
Yeah. That never gets old. I mean, it's like, what, 35 years old now?
Is it really?
Yeah, something like that. We're old, man.
God.
No, not 35, 25. 25 years
I
old.
was gonna say, that seems like a lot.
Yeah, no. It wasn't that bad. But it could have been. Sorry. Skimming through the book that I have real quick. Grabbing. Okay. So, what we have here for our maze people are Cyan, Petey, and Crop Duster. Cyan, do you remember what you were as a character and what you specialize in? Do you hear me, Cyan?
Oh, you're talking to me. My bad. I was getting ready to like
Character
make sure I
amnesia.
muted notifications. So Cyan is a paragon, and their edges are magic spells, gear wise, and learned.
Okay. And you're a paragon, correct?
Paragon, correct.
So you are a very skill-focused character that is really good at doing the thing that they're really focused on doing. They are the best at their skill set. And then Petey, what were you again?
I am a fighter.
Oh, right. And what kind of fighter?
I forgot about this. I'm a street goblin. And my aspect is sword. While I'm agile, cursed, and beautiful.
That's right. You were the cursed goblin.
Uh-huh.
Fighter. The cursed goblin fighter. You're used to being in the thick of things. Now, one thing about mazes that's really interesting about the role system is that, unlike many of the other tabletop RPGs out there, your role isn't defined by a class. Like, you could be a fighter or a sentinel that's a wizard that uses protection or just a massive warcaster. Or you could be a venerable knight who happens to be a paragon specialist of a specific type. All of those things just kind of create this really cool, like, multi-layered character. And then we have the Crop Duster, the duster of the crops.
Yes, I'm a Vanguard. I get 6 die to roll. That's the only thing I roll tonight. My aspect is a shadow hard assassin. I am deadly, well-armed, and agile. So silent and deadly.
Sometimes at the same time.
Hopefully at the same time.
Yeah, you know. All right, so I have one major question. Well, a couple of questions for you, but the major question is, are you entering into the Icetomb?
Sure.
Because either A, you're there to loot a very, very ancient treasure that's rumored to grant a provenance of a kingdom, or are you going to take out an ancient evil that's rumored to be plaguing the nearby town of Snowfall?
Well, my character has to be stealing something, so it's definitely there for the treasure.
What about you both?
I mean, that's a lot of treasure.
I mean, what kind of treasure are they offering for killing this evil?
Also valid.
It's more, is it for gold or glory? That's the main thing.
Oh,
Oh,
glory!
no, just me.
Yeah, I go for glorious gold.
Yeah, I mean, you are a goblin. That does make sense.
Hey, that's typecasting and stereotyping. Rude.
Hey, I like shiny things too. You should see my dice collection. It's unhealthy. So, is it going to be for gold or glory?
That has to be the same thing for all of us.
Yo.
Oh,
Because this sets some of the motive and some of the darkness.
I mean,
The
it sounds like
blue-
we're all going for gold, right?
All right,
Well, I mean, do you not want to?
that's fine.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you positive, Cyan? Are you positive?
I mean, with
Roll
gold
for it.
comes glory.
Yeah,
And
roll for it.
I mean, if both of you were going for gold, so if I just say gold, then we're good to go. I don't.
Yep.
we can't be different, so I'm making it work so we can start.
That's also fair. Okay.
Guess I should change my motive now, right? Just to.
I mean, you know, Petey may actually also have an issue where he is like, or they are like, hey, I'm tired of being cursed by doing things the right way. I just want to get paid.
I mean, it came in handy last time being cursed, so yeah.
Yeah.
You're a beautiful person. He just needs the self-care.
You gotta learn to accept the curse as a blessing.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Embrace it.
So that's one question answered. And the other question is, how much starting treasure do you want to have? And this directly impacts how much darkness there is, as we've discussed before.
What did we settle on last time? We were like,
Last time,
way too much.
yeah,
I think last time you
we
settled
did
at 6.
2 for everybody.
Yeah.
No, we did 2 for everybody.
Oh, you started at 8?
Yeah.
I'd say 4 is healthy, right?
I mean,
yeah,
it's
that's one. That's one each plus 1. I'll take it.
Yeah, that's 1. All right, and so as long as you are flush, which is equal to or greater than the party size and treasure, 1 spend of treasure affects the entire party. And how that works in this game is, instead of having gear per se, you can do temporary bias to create solutions by spending treasure. You can also retain treasure, and the more treasure you have by the end of the run, the more additional loot and potential, what do they call, edges, are going to be available to purchase, depending on what you roll for the treasure you bring back. So, with that, we have a treasure of 4, which is a starting darkness of 6.
It is okay.
Yep.
If we did 3, would our starting darkness be 5?
Yes.
Okay. So that's what my thought was, but if we want to roll a 6, I'll roll a 6. This means we have to negotiate for crowns.
I'm cool with that.
It's up to y'all. I'm totally cool with whatever. It's your game.
Throwing caution to the wind.
thank you.
We were in a lot worse position last time, so.
That's also true. And it came pretty close a couple of times. Hopefully this time we can actually keep the video instead of it getting erased with my hard drive.
Yeah. R.I.P.
Yep, that was super sad. Oh well. No, wait, we didn't. No, we did. We recorded the mazes one. We just didn't ever get a chance to do anything with it. That's right. Right, Jeff?
Say what? Sorry.
I was saying, didn't we record the other mazes one, but it got erased with my hard drive being bricked?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So.
Sorry, one of my Discord servers was going off, so I had to mute it because.
Yeah, you didn't want it blowing everything up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I should change mine to D&D.
But we're playing mazes. I know. So, let's do this.
Sorry, what is the starting health again for fighter?
What is your dice?
Huh?
What is your dice? Your for
D8.
Yeah, for the fighter, your hearts equals the max number of your die value.
Okay.
So for a fighter, it would be 8.
And then just 2 stars.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And Paragon gets the most stars for now. All right, so this is only the second time we've been playing mazes, so if we mess up the rules, I apologize in advance, but the game is more about rulings over rules anyways. Like that's like the second paragraph in the book. So we will have as much fun with this as we possibly can and see what the heck happens. All right, so starting at the door of adventure and descending into the frozen darkness of Icetomb. Before you is this large, misshapen obelisk that looks like it's fashioned of a single large icicle, but inverted, like a misshapen spike to the sky. Carved into it, facing straight down in almost a crevasse that zigzags, you see a pattern of what looks like translucent steps that slowly maneuver their way back and forth deep into the frozen shadows.
Is it like sticky ice or like really slippery ice?
Oh, it looks like very, very cold, very frozen. It is a block of freezing frozen ice. No, it is. The steps look like they have been carved with pretty rough angles, so you can position yourself and have points of pressure where you don't slip, but it is very much solid ice. And you can tell as your palms or anything of any kind of warmth gets near it that the water on the ice starts to melt a little bit and loosens your grip instantly. So it is a very solid piece of glacial, harrowing nightmare.
Am I the only one that kind of wants to sled down the stairs?
Yeah, why not?
So what would you like to do as you see this gaping open glacial maw that has this zigzag of stairs that slowly navigate down the sides?
How far would each zig be?
Looks like roughly 50 feet. And it just kind of goes back and forth down the center of this crevasse into the darkness.
Just straight up fall off into the crevasse.
And that was the tale of Petey, the flying goblin.
I guess just approach and carefully start making the way down so as not to slip and fall.
Okay.
I need to use treasure to get. I'm terrible at this pronunciation, but is it pitons or pitons?
I believe it's pitons.
Pitons, and take some rope and kind of help secure ourselves down so we've got a way to hold on.
According to the book, standard gear is expected. So it doesn't take any additional treasure to pull out things like hammering some pythons and some rope in there. That's reasonable to have on you. That's not special loot.
So since we were going to the Icetomb, would it make sense that we had ice shoes?
Yes.
Ice coat? Okay.
Yeah.
And those little like pickaxe things for climbing ice.
Yeah.
So just because, even though I'm agile, accidents can happen.
All right. So, moving down carefully into this entrance, you all get with the snowpack and using the good cleated ice shoes and having several pythons with a lot of rope, and you're kind of cycling through rope as you get further down. You loosen some more pythons, and they come loose, like a little more loose than you'd like, but they're still in there. But about 300 feet in, where the sunlight stops reaching, and the icicle, this big dome of a spike above you, is more like this pale blue luminescent glow. It becomes even more difficult to see, and the ice stops flowing into individual carved steps and is more like simple lumps, like it's been worn down like a slow ice flow. And I need you all, well, you can tell that moving forward is going to take quite a bit of either agility or some kind of special plan, because it's just starting to get to the point where it's more of a ramp than stairs.
How much farther does it look like we have to go?
It's getting pretty dark, but with the torches, you're able to see out a good 30 or 40 feet, and you can see that there is this faint blanket of what appears to be snow in a central chamber down below. Maybe a good 45 feet straight down if you were to fall. So maybe not lethal, but it wouldn't feel good.
Is it still zigging and zagging?
It's more just kind of the slow curl down the side, almost like a spiral staircase at this point, as you've gone kind of diagonally into this.
Is there a way that we could make an anchor into the ice and tie a rope to it?
Yeah, yeah. That would
And
be.
then kind of slowly lower ourselves down? Because we've got our ice shoes and we've got a pick.
Yep.
So
that would definitely be a bones roll to hammer it in there nice and tight.
Edie?
I mistyped the command.
Because I ain't rolling bones.
It's a 1.
All right, and Crop Duster, what is your class again?
I am a shadow assassin.
All right. Well, I would say that being as, because that's a class, that's not a crown, right? Yeah. Okay. So that's the key, and so I would say as a shadow assassin, you are actually oftentimes used to anchoring things and rappelling down walls to get into windows and other places that aren't opened in the most traditional sense. And so yeah, I would totally say that falls in line with your class, wouldn't you all?
Yeah.
All right. So
can't be falling off from snowy rooftops and making yourself known.
I've done many ice assassinations in my line of work.
Praise the sun. It's happening again. Praise the sun. So, Crop Duster, with his deftly deadliness, managed to anchor in a large spike into part of the glacial wall that kind of comes down into a cleft, and drops some rope down into what looks like the central chamber, but the central chamber has like this almost perfectly untouched field of snow at the bottom, like it's been slowly drifting in over months. What would you all like to do?
Whoever's the most dexterous should go down first, and then they can weigh down the rope, and then there should be less ups that way.
That is definitely one of you two.
Okay. Sure, why not?
By, I mean the beautiful cursed goblin.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a toss-up between whether or not that would be Crop Duster or Petey.
My character class is agile, so
it's up to you two.
Both of you have
I'll
agile,
go.
don't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Which means you also have advantage. So you get to roll 2 and choose the best.
Roll again.
Oh, deuces!
Deuces.
Yep. Deuces wild for Crop Duster. That seems somehow poetic. So.
I needed a 3.
Yep. So, as Crop Duster scales down, you watch as he gets to the bottom and slowly puts his feet down into the soft snow, and the snow just doesn't feel like it has a depth as you watch Crop Duster try to rappel to the base and sinks up above his head, and snow just almost like falling through soap suds.
Pull him up, Petey, pull him up.
Is he still attached to
the
rope?
Yeah.
Sure, I'll try and pull him up.
And Crop Duster, you feel this like piercing cold starting to get around you, and you can feel that the snow is like moving and clinging to you.
Well, I guess I'll kind of like try to tug on the rope, but I mean I'm still holding on to it. Hopefully.
Yep. Petey, what you doing, man?
Pulling him up.
All right, that's a bones roll. Bones. And that is a bones roll.
Wait, I forget. For each of these rolls, we're supposed to be taking away a heart, right?
Only for violent actions.
Okay.
That's another thing in mazes is during combat, violent actions take effort, and so they consume vitality or hit points as you'd expect. It's kind of a neat system. But that was a class roll too, wasn't it? Or crown.
I don't know. Yes?
It was a crown. It was an 8.
Negotiate for success on crowns. So, you're trying to pull up Crop Duster, but you can definitely feel resistance beyond what you would expect, even from a person who's hanging suspended in space. It actually feels like there's downward pressure that's pulling him as you're meeting the resistance on the rope. What would you like to do to try to negotiate for this success?
Even though they say to never do it, I'm gonna twist and wrap the rope around my waist to help brace and dig both feet in so I can pull, so I can anchor him a little bit better.
All right.
I'll help.
You're gonna help with your magic?
Make us some sandwiches.
I'll make it a little less slippery around here. I don't know.
Okay, so I forget, what counts as crowns again?
Crowns are the max roll on your die.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you going to use your magic to help him, Cyan? How are you going to help? Because I don't even think the Paragon can make a bones roll.
No.
So, I mean, you could use books to...
Use books to...
utility magic.
To make a... We're gonna trigonometry this via books to, find like an outhanger rock to loop it over so we can like pulley system it instead.
Right on. Okay. So, make your books roll and hope for the best.
Book 5.
Nice. Right on. So, judging by what you can see, you reach over, wrap a rope around Petey, and get it looped over where the anchor was on the rope and get some leverage going. And you just like lean back. But unfortunately, the rope burn from it, Petey, gives you, well, you have two options. The stress from actually getting Crop Duster up there can either A, do 4 hearts, or B, give you the tired condition.
Why aren't you wearing gloves? It's cold out.
Well, I have it wrapped around my waist.
Yeah, it's just like squeezing him like a tube of toothpaste.
This beautifully crisp body of toothpaste.
Well,
I'll take the 4 hearts.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you can feel the tiredness just like and the soreness from just basically being a humanoid pulley. And you're like, yeah, this is gonna leave some bruises. But Crop Duster gets up, and you watch as that powdery snow material almost has like tendrils, and a big portion of it is coming up with him, and then it kind of lets go, and you see like these small wisps of this weird fluffy material like lash out and try to grab onto him one more time before you get him back up over the edge.
Oh, hell no.
And as it settles back down, it almost like a fluid or oil, it just kind of like waves a little bit around the base of the floor.
Do I have any high proof alcohol?
That's up to you.
Cyan's like, let's just get Petey, or let's just get Crop Duster up here, and then I'm gonna throw a fireball down there.
Well, can we navigate it? I mean, is it a large pit?
The whole
see what happens when fire touches it.
The whole bottom floor of the chamber is made of that wavering snow.
Do we see anything else in the bottom of the chamber? Probably not in the dark.
In the dark, it's hard to see the other side. It's a good 75-foot wide chamber, and it's almost perfectly round.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Spending a star?
Takes a star expenditure to cast it down there.
Well, no, if you want it to be like instantly perfectly effective, yes. Otherwise, it's going to be a blades roll.
Can we tell if it's like a magic, or do we think it's a monster that we should attack? Like,
you can make
something you have to dispel.
You could definitely make a books roll to see if you could figure out more, or you could spend treasure, or you could do a flashback.
Right. Yeah, let's we can spend a treasure and do a flashback to a little bit of recon we did about this that we just kind of forgot about in the excitement.
If you want to do a flashback, it'll either take a star or I get another darkness.
Okay. Was it cold, Crop Duster?
There.
Yeah, but luckily I've always had a cold shoulder because of the job.
We're just gonna drop this here for the fireball.
All right.
Just rain fire down upon that alive floor.
You all watch as Cyan starts calling up the power of the forge element, and you can almost swear you hear this ting, ting, ting sound as a forge furnace-like heat starts to slowly hammer itself into a single point and then shoots like a meteor straight down and causes this massive explosion. So go ahead and roll for your effect. And the way effect goes, if you all remember, is you roll your die, and for every explode, which is your crown, if you roll it, you get to roll an additional die, and it keeps stacking. But for a 3 effect, you watch as a big section of it melts away, but the way it melts, you can tell that it's not water. It actually flows down into like a sludge. And you can see that in the in the front section where the fireball had landed in that radius, it is actually like tar that's been anchored to the tundra-like floor in that spot. And this large powdery snowflake material creature, it's almost like an ooze made out of fresh snow, is thrashing around trying to break itself loose, but it looks like it's pinned, and it's really, really messed up. Like, the material that melted away is like this black, tarry looking substance that is fused to the floor. It is very, very not happy.
Did the light from all that like illuminate anything else for us to see, like another pathway or anything?
Yeah, on the other side of the chamber, you see what looks like a large sculpted archway out of ice, but the ice is also intertwined with what looks like a white stone. Almost like a spiral archway all the way around.
Did we see a way to get over to that?
You have to try to either make it around or through this thing.
I'd say around.
So what do you want to do? It's all y'all's turns. I think it's actually technically Crop Duster's moment.
Because you just got pulled out of the pit. And I just witnessed the fireball. I am kind of in shock because is the gradation to the floor simple, or am I like standing next to like a drop off?
You're standing pretty close to a drop off. Like the gradation to the floor is pretty much a really, really, really steep grade. Like there's a bit of a pitch to it, but it's like an ice flow. It just drops.
Is there a way that I can prevent the other people in the party from having the same fate as me?
Well, Cyan managed to nuke a big chunk of it that is currently welded to the floor where you had fallen down. A good, like, 40-foot diameter sphere. So a good half of it is just, like, melted to the floor. But at the distance where you can see the archway, it's still kind of thrashing around and trying to pull itself free. But it is effectively cemented to the ice on the floor right now.
Okay.
That leave like a passageway through it we could take, or
it's on your side. So if you imagine a circle, let me get into camera. If you imagine a circle, you nuked this part in front and like welded the first 45% of the floor, or where the creature was, to the actual floor, which is a good 10 feet below that. So on the other side where the archway is actually sitting, the thing is thrashing around and moving back and forth and trying to pull itself free. But it's staying away from where the fire is hit because it doesn't want to get hurt again.
Could I possibly light a torch and throw it on it?
Yeah, of course. That would be a blades roll.
Blades. Damn it.
Why, that's your class. It's all good, man.
Oh, okay.
Wouldn't you say that a shadow assassin would be good at throwing weapons?
Yeah, it's my jam.
Yeah.
I like to throw things at people and watch them slowly die from them.
Yep. Definitely. Especially Tinker Toys, just like throwing them and bouncing them off people's heads until they die. You know. I was just thinking of like the most innocuous thrown weapon possible. Just like all these Tinker Toys flying at somebody. Anyway. Yeah, the torch flies over. Roll for effect! As the torch lances through the air and lands square in the center of this writhing mass. For 1. It manages to trampoline off the torch, but it did do some damage.
The only thing above a
1 today.
Yeah.
I have rolled a lot of ones.
Dude, Roll20 is doing its thing when I'm running again.
The only thing we've had above a 3 is that 1 8 that PD got. Everything else
It
has been
was a
1
good
2
8.
3.
Yep, Petey's the lucky roller today. Good thing I'm
That's
not
fine.
rolling. I wonder what I'd roll.
Do it.
I mean, so it is Petey's moment. This would be my roll. It's average. Actually, if I were playing, I'd probably play Paragon. Hey, I admit nothing. I admit nothing.
He took my crown.
But Petey, while you're looking around and feeling the bruises, you watch as it reaches up to one side and wraps its tendrils around a large section of glacial wall, breaks it down, and starts pulverizing it. And you can tell that a big portion of it is starting to become snow again. As I spend a darkness to recover some health. And Petey, I'm actually going to spend another darkness where you feel that cursed brand that is upon you. You can feel the cold curse, like you can feel cold energy reaching out, almost like cold icy fingers trying to grab onto the brand that's been cursing you. And you flash back to some magic user in the distant past when you were in the trade city of Bay. And they told you, this old sage was like, one thing you must watch out for is you don't want anything getting too cold or close to your skin. And you thought that was a really weird, really strange thing for the sage to say. As I just invoked a flashback.
So,
and you feel like this thing might be homing towards you.
Coming in on me specifically?
Yep. What would you do?
Don't want it to touch me.
Are you sure?
Because it'd be a chilling experience.
Yep, it might be a spine tingler.
I don't know.
Jeff's like, I can't deal with these dad jokes.
That's like 90% of who I am.
This isn't even our final form.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, so is it fair to say that we have the ice shoes, you know, like the kind that you can actually stab into the walls?
Yes.
I think I want to try as best as I can to shimmy across the gap, because you said there's a gap, right?
Yes.
And then try to get to the other side as fast as I can, bringing over the same rope that's tied around my waist still.
All right. That sounds great. As you carefully start navigating down and through, make a boots roll. Dun, 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 dun.
Would it be fair to use my agileness?
Yep, definitely.
So would that be advantage?
Yes, that's advantage.
Okay. Good job. Ouch.
Wow. We're not going to get very far today.
Nope.
If we even make it out.
What's your class again?
Street Goblin.
I would say that being a straight goblin, being agile and nimble and running away from things would be within your class. Now, that's just me. Everybody else is more than willing to chime in.
I learned it on the street corner.
You had
so beautiful.
You had You were running away from your adoring public and had to get through this tiny little spot and what you thought was your adoring public. They were actually trying just to arrest you, but you just thought it was your adoring fans and you just didn't want to deal with it.
That's my curse.
Your curse is you all must always run away from the things you care about.
And I walk away.
And I walk away. But yeah, you manage to make it across. It does lash out a few times and catches a hold of the rope, but because of its granular nature, it just can't seem to get a solid grip on the fine rope. And you manage to get all the way to the other side where it kind of ramps up to the archway. Because there's a 10-foot drop where the actual floor is. Like, this thing's been sitting in a 10-foot bowl that's, 70, 75 feet across. So there's still a lot of mass there.
If that's the case and I've reached the other side, I would want to strike a python in high enough up to where they could grab the rope and kind of use their feet digging into the ice and shimmying over.
Okay.
Because that would make it a little bit easier at least.
All right. That would technically be your next moment. I don't know if Sion wanted to do anything, or Crop Duster at this point.
I'll just wait for this to get set up.
One of my edges is well armed, and I don't know. I'm just really, I really am a big fan of arson, and as an assassin, you got to create a diversion now and then. So I've got at least like 2 Molotovs on me. I'll just throw one onto that ice thing and see if that helps distract it.
All right. Go ahead and make a blades roll.
No.
Oof.
Wait, if he's throwing, doesn't that... We did advantage last time on that, didn't we?
Well, you are well armed, so that does count as advantage, because it's an edge.
Yeah.
And there's a blades. So, go ahead and roll for effect as you throw this flask of oil that's lit, and it flies over and lands, and it shatters. Okay, so you can do, because it's weak to fire, I'll give you 2 options here. You can either give it the on fire, or you can do double damage. It's up to you.
How long does it stay on fire for?
Until, let's see. That condition will stay going until it either spends time to extinguish itself or I spend darkness on it. One or the other.
I think this is a good distraction. So if you think you're ready to cross site, we can catch it on fire and then make our way across while it's distracted in case it doesn't die.
For me.
Okay. So I'm gonna set on.
It's on fire then? Uh-oh.
Yep.
Okay. Just making sure. For a second there it sounded like I was losing you. Making sure. So that's 4 damage, and it has the on fire condition as you watch as the oil starts burning and cooking down, and it leaves this big, like, black, tarry scorch on the top of it as it's really starting to thrash around. Sai, did you want to do anything on your moment, or are you waiting for PD to get the pin in?
I'm just going to wait for PD to give the go-ahead and just be ready to go.
All right, PD. Time for a bones roll. As you reach up and try to slam one of these spikes into the ice.
I think it works.
So, oh boy. So, you wedge it in there, and you're like, I mean, you slam it in there really, really good. If it was an attack, it would have gone right through the creature. And you're like, oh, right. And at that moment, who's heading across first? Crop Duster or Sion?
I'll go first.
Is it still tied around you, PD?
Yep.
Okay, so Crop Duster, you reach down and grab onto it, and you take a couple of tugs, and it seems solid. And you put all of your weight on it, and you watch as the spike flies out of the wall, and Petey goes backwards straight into this thing that's burning. I need Petey to take. What was it? Let's see. That is fire. So it's just the fire. So that's just 3 hearts.
Yeah, I still got 1 left.
You remember, you can always take a condition to refill your hearts. And if you don't take a condition to refill your hearts, you'll go down.
Knock, knock, knocking on death's door.
Yep, exactly. So make sure that when you get really close to start taking conditions like tired or hurt or stressed to manage that.
I might just do that because I am down to 1 heart now.
Okay, so yeah, I believe the first one is stressed that you take. Technically, you take any of them, but the first one that you're required to take, I believe, is stressed.
I don't know how to put that in my hand.
You should just be able to right-click it and hit take card.
Oh.
Take the card. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. So, y'all watch as Petey goes backwards and lands into the fire and starts getting scorched. Cyan, what are you doing?
So what happened to Crop Duster? If he put all his weight on it, and
he's just down. Forward. He's down right next to where the tar-like substance is burned into the floor, but he's not affected by anything right now. He's just down on the ground. Because it was a slow fall. I mean, Petey got dragged straight into this thing.
Yeah.
My bad. I thought I had that.
Nailed it!
This sheet just has the spells thing. It doesn't have the other domain. That's okay, though.
Do you need me to reference anything for you?
No, I was trying to think, because
I have the domains, like, I can get to them very quickly. Forge domain?
I think so. I think that was the one. I had one that, because I remember I was able to do fire and ice. And
okay, and do you want specific spells or the actual domain? Because
so
the forge
is Petey's just being affected by the fire and not by the creature?
Yeah, the creature hasn't attacked or done anything yet. After your moment, the creature will be going.
Okay.
So
I'm a little toasty.
Yep.
So if I
almost to the domains.
If I don't use a star, then I have to roll Blades roll, and that would consume a heart, correct?
Yes. Oh yeah, Crop Duster has spent 2 hearts so far. That's right. Because he's done 2 violent actions, thrown a torch and thrown a Molotov. I always forget that until it's too late.
It's like
I want to try and go for the roll, but with the way our dice have been going tonight.
Oh, it's been awful. It'll turn around.
Alright,
so just one more roll.
Forge domain as fire, flames, metal, forge, what else? You can abjure earth. You can summon some stuff.
Summon a flame elemental.
I mean, you could.
That would be a distraction.
Yep.
I was mostly joking, so that was not meant to, like...
Well, remember, if you're using it in combat, though, if you're not using a star, it's going to be a Blades roll and a heart, so just be aware of that.
All right, we're gonna try it. Dice will turn around eventually, right?
The gambler's fallacy.
More addicting to lose, anyways.
Only going for it once.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yep.
Yeah, you try to draw the magic forward, and it must be how close you are to the elemental core of ice near this specific region of Heraeth, but the flames don't answer your call. You feel the spirit get close, and it's like, nah, I'm okay, man. And your convincing conversation just doesn't really go much further, unfortunately. The spirit's like, nah, I'm good. That's too cold. So, Petey, this thing, all of a sudden, its snowy tendrils spiral around you, and you feel this icy cold as it starts to shrink, and you can feel almost like the ice crystals of the snow are hard, almost like stone or bone, and they start digging at where your brand is. I need you to either you can either try to escape and squirm your way out of it, or you can try to endure and resist it. It's your choice. Because you are a street goblin, so you are kind of slippery.
Well, since I got Crop Duster into the bowl,
Uh-oh. I think I just lost Petey's video.
It's shown on mine. Oh, let me reconnect then.
No, maybe it's me.
I don't see it either.
Okay.
It got lost on the stream too.
There he is! Yay! He's back!
I just reconnected.
Cool. Yeah, I just wanted to take a quick pause, make sure we didn't lose internet, because if we did, I'd be like, and we're going on break. So what you doing, Petey? Sorry.
So Crop Duster's in the bowl too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So knowing that I unintentionally got him into that, I'm gonna choose to resist so I can keep the focus on me and give him a chance to get out.
Alright, so that would be a bones roll. Bones!
You're sacrificing yourself for me. Should I just attack, maybe?
No.
Oof.
Nope.
You thrash around.
Goblin doesn't give me advantage.
Yep. You thrash around and fight as hard as you can, but it just has you tight, and you can feel it as it slowly starts crushing inward. And that is 6 hearts.
Oh god.
So just a bit.
You have another turn.
And now it's Crop Duster's turn.
Well,
or moment,
I'm gonna.
I should say.
While it's generously distracted, I guess I'll make my way to the other entrance, and then I'll start firing on it at that turn.
All right, so go ahead and make a boots roll real quick as you lithely bounce through, and I think you're agile, so you actually get advantage on that.
Hey.
Shoot.
That's a nice roll. So, deftly, you manage to dodge around some of the more liquid parts of this thing and get up to where the ramp is. And you get to the other side where the entrance yaws open to what looks like a large hall or tunnel of some kind that steadily goes down.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, next turn I'll be attacking unless you want me to do something different, guys.
You do you, man.
Sai, what you doing?
Well, I'm gonna follow Crop Duster's movements real quick. I'll like see those first few steps and to find that pattern.
Follow my cloud.
Follow the cloud and just kind of dodge across while it's distracted, and then try and help out Petey once I get to the side, maybe.
All right. So go ahead and make a boots roll as you try to dexterously move through.
Oh my god.
It's a class. What is your class?
Paragon. I'm the red mage.
Yeah, I don't think
No.
being agile and bouncy is a red mage thing.
No.
So you get about halfway across that semicircle where this tar is, and you step down where you think that you were following Crop Duster's tracks, and you feel this wet, sinking mud-like feeling as your feet get caught into the tar-like substance.
Just like Grandma.
These dice rolls are atrocious.
Yeah, this is not good.
It's
So
fine.
on its turn, Cyan, it's gonna lash out with a tendril. So you can either make a boots or a bones roll to try to avoid, or spend a star. As like this tornado of these snowflakes spins out and starts spiraling around you, getting ready to engulf you like you saw it do to Petey.
Like that.
I swear I'm not trying to kill
I'm
you
just,
all. I promise.
I'm like, I'm scared to roll. That's the problem.
Okay,
Right?
you got this.
There's some terrifying rolling going on here, and it has not
It'll
improved.
turn around.
It's so bad.
It'll get better.
It's so bad.
It couldn't be bad now.
And the bad thing is the only players roll in mazes. I just set the hazard and danger.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Fine.
Oh my god, fine.
Yes! So, how are you evading this? I want to hear this narratively.
So, Cyan has magic. He's also very learned, but he's also gear-wise. So, he knows if he tries to force it the wrong direction, it's going to be too slow. So what he's going to do is he's going to kind of use the momentum of it coming at him to help kind of pull himself out, being stuck from the tar.
Yeah.
And he'll take the staff has got like this little spring-loaded thing in the bottom.
Yeah.
To help push off a little bit. And so when it's coming in, he's gonna like set the staff, wait, and then use that little spring to help force himself out of the tar and just run across like his life depends on it, because right now it does.
So your staff has like a built-in pogo stick action thing going on that's just like under tension.
Yep, it's just under tension, so I can either set something in there, and so I can fire something out, or
so you like straight Willy Wonka roll to the side. You're like, yep, I meant to do this, and you just kind of like naturally roll off, spring up, and just bolt across to the other side. That's beautiful. All right, Crop Duster, what do you do?
Sorry, Petey.
That's fine.
I'm going to take a arrow and light it on fire and shoot it at this thing.
All right. Make a blades roll, and don't forget to spend a heart. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun.
It's on fire.
Yeah, it is. It is on fire.
Ooh. Yeah.
And that is a very successful blades roll as the arrow comes darting in, and it almost kind of like a hot iron going through butter. It just kind of sinks itself all the way into this thing, and you hear this hissing sound. And the creature, whatever it is, actually lets out this shrill kind of screech. Go ahead and roll for effect. And with that, you hear this screeching sound, and then almost like a very, very faint popping sound, and the whole thing just kind of falls limp and starts to liquefy into the basin where it was anchored. Petey!
Are you ready to enter the Icetomb?
Petey, you feel this crushing sensation, and then it just relaxes, and all of this kind of clear, translucent gear just fluid just kind of pours over you as you settle down into this fluidish filled basin. And you can see what looks like this still smoldering arrow punctured through what looks like some kind of crystalline heart or core or something.
What's the consistency of the liquid?
Kind of like maple syrup. Or corn syrup. Corn syrup would be a good explanation. Where it's kind of thick but still runny.
It takes some effort to get off.
Yeah. On the bright side, it doesn't smell like anything. It's just kind of like this viscous material. I'm trying.
Would you say it's water-based?
Technically, yeah. I mean, damn it, Jesse.
Not bad.
Why? Alright, so with that thing slowly fading off and Petey wading his way through this fluid, it's, being a street goblin, it's about waist deep on him as he goes through. He climbs up and he's...
Average Tuesday.
Just another Tuesday for Petey the Cursed.
Is there a chance we can take a rest before we go into the next area? Does that happen in this game?
You can take a small rest, but doing so and letting time pass does generate darkness, and it only recovers hearts.
What would be considered a vice?
What would be considered a what?
Sorry, Croptuser speaking.
I have 3 hearts right now.
Hey, me too.
Okay. As long as we're all terrible. Then I think we can make our way to the next entrance.
Move forward carefully.
What counts as a vice? Just literally anything that you use as a vice?
Yeah, a coping mechanism, typically one that's not super great. Like, I mean, some of the more common ones would be stuff like illicit substances or alcohol, or even things that are simple like sugar is a vice. Like, I mean, it could be really anything. Anything that your character finds comfort in. That
You've gone 18 hours without any hard cheese.
Yep.
Oh, I'll pull out my pipe and pack it with some long bottom leaf.
For a minute there, I thought you were gonna say crack rocks. Now you know why Petey is actually cursed.
And that gets rid of the stress effect?
Yeah. A vice? Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. Cool.
I'll count that. Are you spending a treasure to do that then?
Would I have that naturally as a street goblin?
Yeah, I would totally call that as a street goblin. You're like, I'm not going anywhere without my herb. I know how these situations can get all stressful. Alright, so, Are you all taking a short rest then, or well, the equivalent of a minor rest to recover?
I figured we were just continuing onwards.
All right,
I'm
just continuing
along,
on.
along with them.
And this archway that's made of this weird spiral of white rock and ice, as you pass through it and move down this long, almost perfectly straight passage that grades very, very slowly down, you can see what looks like that same spiraling white stone down the hallway. And you could swear that you can almost see that white stone that's spiraling moving on its own, even when in between steps. Like the spiral itself is slightly rotating.
Does it feel hypnotic?
A little bit. It kind of gives you that moment of vertigo / motion sickness. What would you like to do?
Well, we should probably follow this wonderful swirling pattern because it's just so enticing. But I bet it leads to big treasure.
Well, we gotta keep going if we're gonna find it anyway.
Yep.
All right. From
Check for traps maybe before we head down the staircase.
That's always a possibility. I mean,
Straight up stab it.
Petey,
Stab
no
the
light.
stairs?
Stabs. Everything's trying to kill us.
Nope.
Yeah, it looks really clear as you look forward, and it just like this white spiral that as you're going forward, it almost feels like it's moving at almost a more accelerated rate than you are. Petey, anything that you would like to do?
So you were talking about earlier how my curse brand kind of felt sensitive towards that. I don't know what we want to call that, the snow monster. Do I kind of get any of that feeling around the stairs?
No, it just, I mean, aside from feeling just cold, it doesn't feel any different now. How about you, Cyan? Is there anything you would like to do?
So does it seem like the moving spiral reacts to anything that Crop Duster or PD did?
No, not yet. One thing that is
Didn't
strange is that when you turn and look behind you, you don't see a hallway, you just see a coil of white stone that slowly looks like it's almost intersecting at a point behind you.
Is the way we came gone?
It appears
Or
so.
disappearing in this moment?
Yeah, it appears so.
That
gave me some really good stuff.
Petey's like,
you guys want to
know? Can I make a books roll to see if I can figure out if this is something that's been triggered or if it's something
I mean, that'd be knowledge, perception, skills, searching, senses. And a class thing of all things. Sai, you're like, this feels really strange. And then you can feel it. It's actually earth magic of some kind that is pulling. It's actually pulling and buttoning up the entrance behind you by slowly manipulating the ice and earth and sealing it up. But the way it's doing it gives you this illusion that you're just nicely and easily traveling down this thing. You figure you probably have another minute or two before this thing starts trying to collapse in on you, as it's been slowly upticking in speed.
So we're not actually moving anywhere.
No.
Is that correct?
Yes.
But we do have a way we can go, or is that part of like it's not actually a way to go and it's just this magic making it seem like?
No, it looks like it's the way to go, but it's slowly creeping up on you. The goal is to eventually crush you, it would appear.
All right, we gotta go.
Yep.
We gotta find another way out. But for now, we gotta go.
That was a good roll. Very good roll. And you can definitely tell it's an earth enchantment. And as a forged domain sorcerer, you can definitely abjure that if you'd like. Just so you're aware.
And well, say that again.
That was weird. Sorry. I was saying, as a forged domain sorcerer, you can abjure earth elemental stuff. Just so you're aware. That's like an opposing force.
I thought so. I can maybe use that to get us out of here if I need to.
Yep, that's a thought. Because you rolled your class thing, I'm giving you that information that you definitely know this is an enchantment meant to keep you here. And moving forward, it opens up into a conical shaped room that you are coming out of the narrow part, almost like this large funnel. And it goes from ice to this old gray and gold marbled looking stone, and you see this massive like stone facade of almost a building that's intricately carved on the wide end of this funnel shaped room that has these like super intricate looking bronze doors that have been oiled but still aged and patinaed over time. Did I lose you? Okay, just making sure. Everybody all of a sudden was very still, so I was making sure that.
Thinking, well,
You just keep cutting out here and there.
Yeah.
Do I now?
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing happened during the last stream too.
Yeah.
It just might be too much on your computer.
Could be. I could reduce it to an extent, I suppose. Let's see here. Not a whole lot, though.
It's all good. Stuff for future stuff.
Yep, it might also be the video processing on Roll20 that's chugging things out.
Okay, evoking, that was the other thing I did. School of Evocation and Forge Domain. That's what it was.
Oh yeah, my Wi-Fi is going nuts, so I might have to hardline that next time. I apologize, folks.
That's all good.
Anywho.
Always hardline.
Yep.
The VOD will turn out great.
Oh, I'm sure it will. At least my audio channel will be okay. So, I mean, that's something. So you see this large stone facade that's made of this gray and gold material, and it has this very intricate set of these bronze double doors that are open on the wide end of this conical shaped room. The ultimate enemy. A door.
Doors. Why did it have to be doors?
Alright. If they're doors, I think Crop Duster's up.
Yeah. So you were cutting in and out, but you're saying that the doors are open or closed?
They're closed. There's these large set of oiled bronze, intricately carved double doors. Whoa.
Okay.
That was weird. Give me a sec here. I'm gonna do it.
I think we lost the stream for a second, maybe.
How's it looking now?
It's okay.
Okay, yeah, it came back. It was a different image for a second or two there.
I think I fixed it.
It's like it went into your loading for a second.
Yep. Okay, I think we're good.
With a floating Justin.
Yep, I saw it too. It was adorable. That's all right. I mean, we're super amateur. It's gonna happen.
It's all good.
So, Justin, yes, it's a set of oiled bronze double doors that are extremely intricate looking, that have these large bands of what looks like old black iron and what appears to be this massive 5-pointed lock that's inset in the center of these bronze double doors.
Well, again, you just don't. Keys are so easy this day and age, so I just have my lock picking set. Um, I'll just kind of do exploratory lock picking to kind of look and see what the lock is before I actually try and pick it.
Alrighty.
Yay!
It's a class roll. Alright, so you can definitely
class
tell.
rolls today.
Yep. The first thing you've noticed is that you can definitely.
Wait, hold on. Don't we get the class bonus that gets added to that? So, like, anytime we roll a 1, it would actually be a 2, or how does that work? Sorry.
It depends on what your class is. That's how the class thing works. So, for instance, if since Jeff's character, Sai, is a red mage, if you roll a 1 and say it was supposed to be a bones roll, but it was against magic, instead he could say that since Sai is a magician, he used a magical spell or ability to reinforce the bones roll because it would make sense for that specific thing. It basically, a class roll is, as long as it makes sense for something that your class would be able to do, it would count as that skill check. Crowns are a bit different in the sense that when you roll a crown, it could technically be a success. It just depends on the level of darkness, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Or did I muddy it up even more?
It makes sense. Just wanted to double check.
Alrighty. Let's see. That means that you were easily able to detect that there is not only 5 separate sets of tumblers in this lock, and that you have to very carefully, with the help of your cohorts, get them all organized in the right way, but you also find that you have to bypass a very, very complex trap. And so, with that, because it was 5 points. Let me check my notes real quick. Yeah. But you did so good. Ah!
You said 5 points of what?
Oh no, I was talking about the 5-pointed lock. I was mathing. Yeah, you managed to bypass the trap and get the door to, well, the lock to unlock. The door's still closed, but
Huzzah!
yeah, it was going to be this really gnarly multi-pointed poison trap, but did real good on the roll. I'm not going to take that away from you. That was awesome.
You just think like, hey, I bought this really nice temple. Why not just buy a nice lock for it? But no, you just buy the cheap lock, and your temple gets picked every time.
Security theater, man.
Yeah, you're not wrong. All right, so Crop Duster says it's unlocked. What would y'all like to do?
Well, before moving onwards for Cyan, at least, Cyan's gonna take a look behind us and see if the earth magic is still doing its thing back there?
It looks like that entire passage sealed itself off at where that cone-shaped room begins. So it is just sealed up.
All right. Well, there's
And you
nothing
see
coming
this.
from behind us.
Yeah, you see what looks like, instead of that white coiled archway, you just see like a white solid coil of stone, almost like a white snail shell blocking the way.
All right. Well,
It was supposed to be so stealthy too. Gosh.
no way to go but forward, right?
I'll open the door for them.
Radio. Go ahead and make a bones roll to force that door open.
Would that be just a regular roll?
Well, I mean, you're just forcing it open, right?
Hey.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's definitely a bones roll. It is a crown, though, so it's a negotiation with success.
When does that cut off?
Huh?
Where does that cut off again for the darkness?
Bright
5.
is less than your farty's size.
Oh. I thought it was at 5.
Nope, less than your party size.
All right.
Spend a
You
star
know,
or spend a
I've had
treasure.
a rough day and I'm kind of pissed off at, my mistakes. And I just really want to go full bore into this. I don't even care if I accidentally face plant into it while forcing it open, but I've had enough.
All right. So, Sai and Crop Duster watch as this little street goblin gets in there, and you see the pretty well developed muscles, these ropey muscles in his shoulder and back and neck start to burst forward, and you just hear this deep groan as these two really large bronze doors slowly swing open. But the momentum of Petey pushing forward causes him to slide and roll and stumble, and he stumbles into the base of what feels like ice at first. But when Petey looks up, you see what looks like this large, icy, coiled up serpent that is wrapped around this large, almost looks like a pedestal made of crystal in the center. And it looks like there's some kind of square black iron box at the top of it. And it opens one milky eye that looks directly into Petey's whole body, because its eye is about 3 feet in diameter.
The big snake.
Who's a good nope rope?
And Petey, you feel it, and it feels like coarse scales made of like this icy thing, this icy material that kind of bends and flexes under your touch, and it makes your curse brand just burn with cold. Are y'all still there?
Oh, we're actually in bleak. Yeah. So we actually fail on crowns.
Not in bleak.
Yeah,
We're
we
in
are.
Torchlit.
Twice
It's
the
only at
party
6.
size.
It should
No, it doesn't
actually
say
be
that.
5. Sorry. I spent a darkness earlier.
Oh, because I was gonna say twice the party size is bleak, so 6 would be bleak for us.
Yep, you're not wrong.
Wow,
That's
I thought there was ranges on this. I thought bleak was like 9 plus.
no, it's based on your party size.
No.
Y'all chose hard mode.
Yeah, we did.
For gold.
For glory. For glorious gold.
For Goldory? Nah.
Interesting.
Hmm.
So if I were to hex blades rolls, what does that mean?
That means you get advantage. Well, you basically, for one person, they get advantage on those blades rolls. Hexes are like
advantage on blades
enchantments.
rolls is what. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm reading about the Forge domain, guys.
Yeah, so that happened, and I'm still technically alive, right?
Yep. So far.
Nice.
But you are
I'm
right up
assuming
against
we've
this
passed.
thing, and it don't look happy.
That's its problem.
All right, so that's Crop Duster and Petey. Sai, you are up. What do you do?
Um.
Oh, and I should get the darkness because that encounter is starting.
I'll be right back.
Now we're at bleak again.
So
For a minute.
no. So behind, is there any way to go on the other side of this thing, or is it just this it right here?
It looks like this big round central chamber, or actually, it's a square central chamber because it's in the middle of this temple-like building. It's coiled around this pedestal in the center. It looks like it might be 200 or 300 foot in length, all wrapped up around this thing, and it's starting to uncoil itself as Petey
Is
woke it
there
up.
another way out of this room?
Yeah, it looks like there's let's see. Looks like there is a single branch off of one side, and the other side looks like it's collapsed.
All right, so under Forge and Summon, it says Charm and Mind Control effects.
Mm-hmm.
Could I attempt to do this and make it think either it's actually afraid of PT or that it just wants to leave?
I mean,
Well,
you can always try.
if it's afraid of Petey, it's still afraid of us.
Like, I mean, that's what I'm trying. Is that something that we think is possible to do with this to make it just want to leave the room?
I mean, you can certainly try. It would take us.
If I spend a star.
Is there even an exit though? I mean, because we closed up the other out.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. There's another way out of the room other than the way we came in.
Yeah, there's one. The other one looks collapsed. It looks like there were two branches that came off of this building, like two separate door entryways that leave both at the east and the west of the room, and one of them looks like it's collapsed in. But yeah, with a heart. So let's see if I remember correctly. Casting spells doesn't matter. This is domain magic. Yes, I believe that you can inspire like passion or quell passion in people, creativity and that sort of thing with it, if I remember correctly. So with that, I would definitely say that so you probably, what you're doing is you're trying to stifle or reduce the passion in this being to where it tries to retreat. Right? I would say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Try and like either calm it down or make it afraid so it wants to leave.
Okay. So yeah, it looks at PD, looks at the rest of you. It does this weird shuddering shake with its body and slowly starts slithering its way into the next room. And you can hear as it's moving into the next room, and it takes it a good 45 seconds to cross the area and actually wrap itself into whatever is in the next room. You do hear this clatter of several things and the sound of like metal hitting metal and a few other things as it wraps itself up into whatever further room it was.
Okay, I didn't get like half of that.
Oh.
Mhm.
Basically, we procrastinated a fight.
Basically, it went into the other room, and then after it went into the other room, you heard the sound of like lots of clattering and metal, and sounded like it went into a room full of something as it packed itself into the adjoining chamber. Does that make sense?
Nope, because I'm only getting like half of what you're saying.
Yeah, you're cutting out a lot.
So what I was able to make out of it was
Hold
it
on.
went into another room. It clattered around and made a lot of clanging sounds, but it's no longer in this room.
Yeah, it's my Wi-Fi. It's not my computer at all. My computer's barely even like it's not even breathing hard. Sorry about that. Yeah. I'm gonna have to next time I'll have to just hardline it. That's my bad.
Yes.
Anyhow,
We
yeah.
could talk off stream on that.
Yep. Basically, what happened was it retreated into the other room, and you heard the sound of lots of clattering, and it sounded like it retreated into a room full of something. And again,
But it knocked a bunch of stuff over in another room.
yes, basically, yes. Sorry.
All good.
Would it help if you stopped streaming your video?
I don't know. I mean, I definitely could give it a shot.
It's
It's
probably just the bandwidth overall.
yeah, the bandwidth. I mean, I am definitely dropping frames. I can see it. It looks like we've lost about 6% of our frames, but I mean, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Next time I'll make
It's
sure to
all good.
hardline it. Technical difficulties.
Well, and at the end of the day, Twitch still is getting the audio crystal clear. It's just us Discord that are not. So you're actually broadcasting fine.
Well, that's always a bonus, right?
Yeah, it's embarrassing for us. Like, what?
Yeah.
Welcome to my party. All of my friends are deaf. I'm sorry. No.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah. I can see the network activity spikes. It's ugly.
All right. Well, now there's a box on a pedestal for Crop Duster to check out, right?
Yes, there is.
Because I will go towards the box.
Well, this pedestal is about 40 feet tall, and it's smooth, and it's made of crystal.
Jeez.
I'll present a knee for him to jump off of.
Is it crystal or is it ice?
It feels like crystal.
Okay. I don't know if the ice picks are gonna work to help you climb it then.
How close is it to the chamber wall?
It's in the center, so let's see. 22 and a half feet ish.
Okay.
Because the room itself is like a 45-foot square.
I am going to put on my big spiky shoes, and I'm going to use the rope to kind of like go around the column, and I'll be holding myself against it, and I'll try to like shimmy up it, kind of like a
lumberjack style.
Lumberjack style.
Yeah.
And we'll see if that works.
All right. Let's give it a shot. Boots. Oof.
Yeah.
Boots.
Boots, 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 boots.
Yeah. Pants and boots and pants and boots. All right. So you all watch as Crop Duster gets and starts shimming their way out all the way to this large iron box at the top. And you still hear every 20 to 30 seconds or so as you imagine that serpent is winding itself up in that small space, more clattering and crashing. At one point, from the entryway, you see what looks like a gilded or jewel encrusted goblet kind of rolls out from that room. But yeah, you get to the top, and there's this large, it looks like a large iron strong box that's reinforced black iron.
Can I push it off?
Yeah, it would be a bones roll? Yeah.
Question mark?
Yeah, definitely bones, because it's heavy. Bones?
Nope.
Yeah, it's really heavy.
Toss me a rope.
Can I just try inspecting its lock then?
Yeah, most definitely.
No.
Yeah, it looks like it's actually, instead of a lock, you see what looks like engraved runes all the way around the top.
Well, that's probably a good thing. How about I try and tie one of my ropes around it, and I'll toss down the rest to PD and Sai.
All right, sounds good.
Do you want to point out that I'm trying not to touch the rune with the rope?
Fair. More than fair. I don't blame you one bit. All right, so a rope comes down. So he's like, it's tied off to a strong box. You're gonna climb up, or are you gonna pull it down?
I'm gonna pull it down.
Please pull it down.
Full
Try not to
force,
pull it on
man.
you.
All right, bones roll. Do it.
Yeah.
Can I nail down that there's a rune on it?
Yeah, you can rappel down.
Oh, he's yelling down. There's a rune on it.
Yep.
Hey.
Nice.
Party fails on crowns.
Actually, yeah, I guess it fails, but I mean,
Didn't we lose some darkness by avoiding the fight with this giant snake?
yeah, you did, because you didn't provoke. Yeah. That's why it was actually moving it up. It's like, yeah.
I have no qualms either way.
Well, I mean, no, you pull it down, and it hits the stone floor with this loud, almost like an ancient bell or gong, just this doom. It doesn't seem to unlock or anything. It definitely
I'm sure it's fine.
leaves a large, like, spiderweb crack in the floor.
I'll
You want to spell this rune?
use my learned edge to take a look at this.
Yeah, sure.
That's
A books. Damn. That succeeds. That would have been funny if it were double fours. I'm not gonna lie. So, it definitely looks like an earth enchanted set of runes that seal the top. The top, however, also comes with, because you're learned, you see it, and it looks like some kind of warning.
oh. What kind of warning is this?
The warning says, make sure I get this right so I don't mess it up. Okay, it says, there it is. Okay. It says,
The wording seems very important. We might need this typed in chat too.
yeah, I will type it in chat. And it says, in an ancient language. It looks like it might even be Old Elvish language. And being a learned person, that the elves haven't been seen of or heard of since the Great Calamity that wiped out most of the world. In fact, half-elves are super rare. But what it does say is it's less of a warning and more of a plea that says it's in order to keep the five who are fallen from rising again, this must remain sealed.
That sounds like something really cool in it.
I am sure that it's just like their door, where it's just security theater, and they're trying to make a mountain out of a molehill.
Like that security sign you put in your yard.
Yeah, like protected by ADT. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
paying for that.
I know who these 5 people are. It's ours.
Does
Figure out
that mean
Me,
anything
myself,
to
and
me?
I, and Psy, and Crop Duster, that's 5.
Does that mean anything to me?
The 5 who are fallen?
Yeah.
I mean, you could make another books check. I mean, you might get pieces. Ooh, nice roll. Look, the rolls are finally coming in. So,
Jinx it.
you do remember that long ago, in a long forgotten corner of history. No, long ago, there were for lack of a better term, council of extremely powerful beings that arose right after the great calamity that caused this world to end in ruins. And these 5 beings were so powerful that instead of being able to be killed, they were sealed off. And it's rumored that to this day, their punishment is being retained somewhere deep in the depths of ancient dungeons, held at bay by great eldritch magics. But, I mean, most of it's just mythology as far as you know.
So we want to dispel the rune?
So you touch it?
And
No.
I
Touch the button.
Touch the button.
So was it I can spend a treasure or a star or something to do like a flashback to some information gathering maybe?
Sure. It's either give me a
Is it treasure
darkness or
star,
spend a
either
star.
or?
Yeah.
Spin that star.
Because I want to see if I think this has any bearing on anything other than myth. Like, is this like a boogeyman story made up to like keep people out of someone's stuff, or is there like some legitimacy here?
All right. Well, since you spent a star, you remember back in Snowfall after talking to people, particularly about the fact that there was supposedly this treasure called the Provenance of Kingdoms or some such nonsense that was supposed to give you like riches and titles galore, and somebody said that whatever it is probably cursed, and then they talked about how it was part of the key that held back the 5. And you thought that was strange because it didn't really make a whole lot of sense at the time, but now that you're reading this, you're starting to put the dots together. And so this might in fact be a very powerful artifact of some sort.
And we
So counterpoint.
open it.
Counterpoint.
Counterpoint. Let's say we open this and we bring the 5 back. I'm sure they're gonna be grateful, right? They might give us
and
some
we might be
pretty
rich.
good loot.
Poor side.
So I think there's like some legitimacy to this claim then, is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, you definitely feel like there's some bad juju there. But it's up to you.
Alright. I think there's some bad juju here. But there's gotta be more down here. Look this way. We're not leaving empty handed no matter what. But there's gotta be something else down here, right?
There's a nope rope.
And like I said, from the room where you heard the clatter, there was like a jewel encrusted goblet that rolled across the floor and is sitting by that entryway.
Maybe there's 4 more of these boxes.
Maybe. Let's find out.
In the meantime, we should open this one, right? Because then we've got 4 more chances.
Yeah.
It's like a loot chest.
Let's see what's further in first. We'll save the box for later. Actually, no, wait, it's heavy, isn't it? It's not coming with us.
It's heavy. We have to open it.
Yeah, it's a
Well, I mean,
large
it's
square,
heavy, so it's not going anywhere. It'll be here when we come
black
back.
iron reinforced box that's sealed with runes.
You can't just give me a box and not tell me what's in it. I need to know.
What's in the box?
It'll be here when we come back. It'll be here when we come back.
Can you prove that?
What? I point behind us where there's nowhere to go. Nothing's coming from that way.
Do you want to go into the room with the thing that was guarding the Eldritch Horror?
Yeah. Do I think these? Do I think that serpent is the Eldritch Horror?
I mean, it looks like a pretty nasty looking beast.
Maybe this will help us fight this. I mean, if it was guarding it, it has to be super powerful, right?
Is there a way that we could trigger the rune onto the serpent?
Throw it at the snake.
I mean,
We
anything's
could rig up
possible.
maybe a trap that would bait it.
Just stand in front of the box, bait it to come at you. Then when it tries to eat you, you jump out of the way and it eats the box.
Well, could we have like a secondary trigger, like it would hit a trigger that would hit the box?
I mean, you can always spend treasure to create something.
If that's a possibility, I think we should use the box against the serpent.
I mean, you are gear-wise. You could probably have some clockwork materials to create something that's slightly,
Works
clockwork.
for me.
I mean, it's up to you.
Shay.
Yep. Gonna do it. I can get behind that plan.
I don't want it to potentially hurt the treasure room, but I'll work with what I'm given.
All right.
I just want an effective trap.
Okay, yeah. So go ahead and spend a treasure to engineer. Damn.
A star card or treasure?
I think
So
treasure.
yeah, just spend a treasure.
Down to 3.
And so you managed to get a pretty decent, out of some clockwork and some timing gears, you managed to set up with this arcane crystal a trigger that should remotely dispel this on impact. I mean, it looks reasonable. You don't see a reason why it shouldn't work, Cyan.
Is there a way that we could rig it up to where we just like trigger it ourselves?
Yeah, I mean, he is a forge magic. He could spend either a star or try to roll to remotely do it.
Yeah, because then we would know it would trigger.
Yep.
Well, I don't know. What do you think? It might come out and inspect its thing that it's been guarding and touch it. What do you think?
Sure.
All right.
Let's see what happens.
When in doubt, roll the dice.
Okay. We'll just roll the dice, see if the trap works. Why are we deliberating? 4.
All right. So, what are you doing at the moment?
We need someone else to kind of bait it.
Okay.
Because
with that roll, you could dexterously look over and try to You're like right. I imagine you probably snuck over right to the entryway and are like observing where this thing actually is, perhaps.
You cut out again.
Yeah, of course. Like you do. I was just saying that perhaps with that roll, you were at the entryway, seeing exactly where this thing was located and what it's doing. Maybe.
Okay.
Would that work?
At the entryway. I just kind of like slink over there dexterously. I guess I'm gonna try and anticipate. Well, no, I'm gonna be behind the chest. Maybe it's like a claymore, shoots out forward.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Just a small rune.
Okay. So.
I'm gonna whistle at it.
You're gonna what?
Whistle at it.
All right. It like looks over at you, and you can actually see like, Sai, are you going to release your magic, perhaps?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it whips its head around, almost like a rattlesnake that's all coiled up and ready to strike, and you can see the hunger in its eyes as it starts to bolt towards you. But with your boots roll, you manage to get dodged out of the way as this lightning fast ice serpent starts darting straight into the room. What y'all do?
While they were
It
doing
didn't
that,
trigger.
Sorry, go ahead.
What was that? It hasn't gotten to the actual box yet.
Okay.
The box is still, unless you drug it, is still near the center of the room. I didn't know if you guys were dragging.
Yeah, I figure I'm hiding in the other like crumbled hallway area where like the passageway collapsed. I'm hiding over there within eyesight, but like out of not like it's not gonna see me right when it rushes in or anything.
Okay, and so I imagine that Crop Duster is probably darting out of the way, and Petey's trying to like get its attention. I don't know.
So
I'm trying to divert it towards the box.
Okay, so you're rushing towards the box as it's chasing you.
The box.
The box.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? All right, and within moments, it is up towards the box. And are both of you diving out of the way then?
Yes.
All right. It's a boots roll. How about you, Petey?
Yay.
Oh.
Is that a class action?
It'd be a 1.
No, that was an agile action.
Well, you're dodging.
Yeah.
Well,
You get advantage.
Nope. Oh.
You gotta negotiate.
Oh, dodging.
Yeah.
Our negotiation. If we could spend a treasure as your negotiation,
you can, or you can.
I feel like I'm gonna die from this Eldritch Horror rune, so. I guess we should spend a treasure. I suspect I'm going to die.
Alrighty.
So spending only affects a single character.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean exactly?
It means that it will only affect him if he spends it instead of affecting everybody.
Well, the one that he's spending can technically impact the party because it was the party size, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, what are you grabbing?
Or can I put a star down?
What was that?
Can you put stars down?
Yeah. I mean, well, if you spend a star, you just automatically succeed.
Oh, well, I would rather spend a star than a treasure.
Fair. All right. So, yeah, just go ahead and spend a star and just do the thing. You just dive out of the way.
Great.
Cool, cool. How about you, Petey? Sorry, I know you're saying something there.
Okay. So I was gonna see if while they were setting up that whole box shenanigans, if I could go ahead and take the stress and refill my hearts, or if that now needs to consider part of this initial
No, you
encounter
can
stuff.
totally do that right now. That's perfect.
Okay.
So now you are stressed, which means you have disadvantage on books and lose at class bonuses.
Mm-hmm. I am okay with that.
Alrighty.
So to kind of add to it, as the snake danger noodle thing's coming over, can I pull out my sword and aim for its eye and try and take out one of its eyes?
Sure, yeah. Go ahead and make a blades roll, and as you're doing that, don't forget to spend your heart. Your hearts and stars.
And is that vantage because I'm a fighter, or
Yeah. Well, it's if you have it. What's your edges? Sorry.
agile, cursed, and beautiful?
I'd say that agile would count because you're like darting in at the last second to try to take out an eye while it's moving quickly. So yeah, I'd give you advantage on that. It's more fun that way, anyways. And that is a 6 on the blades roll. So go ahead and roll for effect as you dart in and stab into its eye. Come on, exploding dice for 3. Alright. You do manage to catch it in the eye socket, but you don't actually get the whole eye to burst out, but you do see like this big milky scar in its eye where you left it bleeding, kind of like this weird crystalline material. Okay. And at that point, with Crop Duster jumping out of the way, you stabbing it in the eye, its mouth bears down directly onto the box. Oh, what you doing? Are you gonna trigger it, Si?
Boom?
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 Question mark?
Trigger it.
I'm just gonna spend a star. I don't want to trust the dice on this one.
Well, you can always spend this.
Always spend a what?
Can you spend a star after you've rolled so you'd see what the roll is, or is it just spend a star or roll?
I believe you can do either, but I mean,
Not both.
Try it out.
Like if I can use a star because the roll failed, I'll do that. But I didn't know if that was an option.
I'm not sure for certain. Let me double check something real quick. In the mean, I'll get back to you on that. I think you can, but
Well then, instead of spending the star,
I can double
let's
check
see.
really quick. It doesn't take much for me to check. Okay. Nope, not far enough. What was the roll? 3? Looks like
It's
he ended.
books because it's magic, right? I don't know.
And technically, it's combat.
You're right. Okay. Well, the star gets spent then.
Yep. But just for reference, I want to double check this thing because it matters.
I wasn't sure if it was one of those like Divine Smite where you can wait till you roll something really good and then declare.
No, I got you. I'm gonna take a moment. It won't. Oh, stars. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, it looks like it's not. I doesn't directly say. What I'm going to say is that if it makes sense, I would definitely suggest using stars on failed rules that are story relevant, because it's supposed to put your character into the spotlight for a second doing something really cool. I think this counts. And you're burning resources to do it. So, I mean...
Burning resources! I have no more stars.
Orangey
That was
orange!
my last star.
What about the lemony purple stars?
And, we just are gonna unleash something upon the world, probably, is all.
So,
like
you almost hear this audible uptick, like this slow clockwork going click, 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 snap, and then it sounds like a deep thundering bass note, almost like just this boom, as this serpent thing stumbles back for a second, and the lid of this iron box flies off sideways, and you can see that it's almost smoking and smoldering from it. And the lower jaw of this serpent is kind of broken apart, and it's got that same crystalline blood a little bit draining down its neck. And it looks with almost a partially predatory eye, but also there's like some kind of intelligence to it as it snakes around very quickly and dives its head into the box. And you see what looks like this wrought iron, almost like this black iron crown studded with rubies, fused to the top of its head as its form starts shrinking down.
Close the box! Close the box!
And its serpent-like form gets replaced with these old, like super ancient gilded noble's clothes and this long fur long fur cake, yeah, no, long fur cape. I'm getting tired, can you tell? As this powder blue skinned being standing there with this wrought iron black crown and goes, "For that, I thank you for releasing me." And he bows and explodes in just this cloud of blowing snowflakes that rushes towards the coiled entrance behind you.
I'm sure it's fine.
It's not fine.
Hey, do we get a reward?
The dude blew into just exploded into snowflakes and disappeared.
It'll be fun.
What caused the apocalypse? I don't know. 3 dudes.
3 dudes who wanted to get paid. But in the distant room, you find what looks like several large treasure chests and a fairly decent cache of wealth. And you all get a total of 6 treasures.
Worth it.
Disadvantage on movement, boots, and bones rolls.
Yep.
Because we are encumbered.
You are at 9 treasure right now.
Which is triple the party size.
You're like, I'm in the money. And
we didn't have to die.
With that, eventually, I imagine you're gonna try to. Well, actually, when you return to the coiled entrance that was sealed, it looks like it's been broken open. Like it is split down the middle and just forced open. And you're like.
He even opened the door for us. What a gentleman.
And it looks like straight high tier knight magic. Like. Yeah. So, on your trek back, which takes 3 times the time you'd expect it to because you're so loaded down with treasure, you start heading back to the town of Snowfall with a job well done.
I don't think he fucked up.
I mean, we accomplished what we set out for, right?
We did. We did a good thing today. We set goals. We accomplished them. Made new friends.
Potentially made a new money earning opportunity.
All right. So.
This is fun.
And that's where we'll finish that small adventure.
All right.
Because the world is destroyed.
Again.
We just ruined everything.
Like, okay, we just let out 1. There's like 4 more.
Yeah, we still have 4 chances at this.
Chances.
I mean, 4 out of 5, that's 80%. That's a B minus.
Oh. Nope. Nope. That nope rope,
really good.
That nope rope should have stayed a rope.
I mean, that was an option.
That was a great one.
But yeah, that was definitely a fun little dungeon. I hope y'all had fun, but I should probably roll. It's starting to get a little bit on the later side. And
Mazes game in the books.
Yep, we actually got a Mazes game recorded in the books and streamed.
Thanks to everybody who watched for part or any part of this at all. And
yep,
we're going to keep doing more indie games, so stay tuned for that. We do most of our updates on Twitter, but you can also like and follow us on here and YouTube as well, and keep up with the updates.
Yep. Thanks again, and I appreciate y'all joining. I hope that wasn't too zany or silly.
It's good.
All right.
Tune in next time when we
wreck the world.
One step closer to destruction.
Yeah, I think the name of this adventure series should be Unintentional Apocalypse.
A money earning opportunity.
How
to get rich quick or end the world trying.
I was gonna say it's not necessarily unintentional after the first one.
We're just billionaire entrepreneurs.
Any more not really unintentional anymore.
Yeah, that's fair.
Goodness. You know what? If this was like the real world, I would probably jump onto this quest because the real world could use a reset.
Alt F4. All right. Well, Jeff, I hope you feel better. Thanks again, Justin and Jesse, for jumping in. I really appreciate it.
It was fun. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks for being chaos gremlins that pushed me towards the world-ending decision.
You're welcome. I prefer goblin.
I don't know if it's gonna end yet.
All right, folks. I think we're gonna hit it. Try to have a good night.
Me too.
Yep.
Bye, everybody.
Stay legendary, folks.